everybody, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Blouse. If this is your first time of checking out this channel, you're welcome, and please make sure you subscribe. You will see a tiny bell down there. It is the notification bell. It helps you get a notification each time we put up a video. Today's tutorial will be on how to make a simple cape or circle blouse, and trust me, it is very easy to make, which you can be done with in 20 minutes. Yes, so it's going to have a button in front, then a belt, so stylish, and you will like it. You can rock it on your jean anytime, or your pantyhose, and you're good to go. So there are a few measurements you need to know. You need to know the length of your blouse, then you want to know how long you want it to be. How do you do that? Just take your measuring tape, then place it at the back. You find the bone just right at the back of your neck, just place it there. Then you just check out where you want it to stop. Like for me, 24-25 is just fine, but 23-2 is okay, but I think 24-25 is just fine for me. Then you need your bust circumference, your waist circumference. So those are the measurements needed. Now we get started, I just want to show you the tools we have available. Looking at it here, we have the long ruler. This is 1 meter ruler, which is about 39.5 inches. Then we have the L curve. Can you see that? Just to have a perfect straight line, especially when you are drafting your basic bodies, you have a perfect straight line. So that's the L curve. We have the hip curve, the pan curve, the armhole curve, as you can see that. Then this is the pattern master. Can you see? It is a multi-purpose tool. Then we have the pins available, the seam ripper, tracing wheel. We have 2 types of thread cutter here. Can you see that? So that's it. So if you are interested in all these, just make sure you check out the contact number in the description box and also in the comment section. In the comment section is going to be the first comment you will see. So now let's go get started. But don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Blouse Signatures, and on Facebook, Sewing Innovations, which is a closed group where we share sewing ideas. Let's get started. Right now I have my fabric on fold. Here I just have 2 yards and quarter. Yes. So, and I want to maximize this. Then for this, you can even have another type of fabric for the button placket. Like you can make use of yellow, brown, but I think I will make use of brown. So what I did was to fold along the width of the fabric. So this is it. When you want to measure, it will be through this side. So this is the by 45. So I just folded by that. So here now I think I have 23. Let me check that. Though I said I wanted 24, 25, but here is 23, which is okay. And I'll be able to save my fabric as much as possible. So the next thing now is the length of the top. I want the length of the top to be 27 inches. Then I'm going to add extra 1 inch to it. Why? For the seam allowance on the shoulder area and then for the lower part. So I'm going to make it 28 inches from the edge. 28. And make a straight line. So this is what I have now. Then the next thing I'm going to insert is my waist measurement. So from here now, I'm going to insert 17 inches. I've added a ½ inch for the shoulder seam allowance to it, so 17 is fine. So that is that. So the next thing now that I'm going to do is, first I'm going to determine the neck width and the neck depth. Now I'm cutting for the front first. You can cut both the front and the back together, but I'm just going to cut the front panel first. Since I want another fabric for the button placket, I'm just going to add extra ½ inch to this front panel to attach it to the placket. Now, but if you are using the same fabric, you just add about 2.5 inches. Just fold it straight. But for this, I'm going to add ½ inch or 3/4 inch. That totally depends on you. So I'm going to mark ½ inch all down. So that will be to attach to the plackets. So all our measurement now will be from here. So the first thing now, for the shoulder slope, I'll just come down from the edge here. Since I'm making use of everything, come down by 1.5 to 2 inches is fine. Then measure 3 inches from the 1/2 inch point. I'm just going to connect it all down. So that is my shoulder slope. The next thing is for the neckline. For the back neckline, I'll just make it 1.5 or 1 inch. Let me just make it 1 inch for the back. Then for the front, I'm just going to make it 4. That is for the depth. For the width now, I can just make use of 4 or 4.5. And I can connect with my armhole. Right now, so for the front, I want a perfect U shape. That's for the front. Then for the back, this is going to be straight. So because we are going to use this to cut the back, so that's why I'm going to, when I'm cutting, I'll cut this off. The next thing now is this. First, I'm going to connect now, since we are using all the fabric. So from this end now, I'm just going to connect straight down here. I'm going to insert my hip measurements and also my waist measurements, though we will need that, but it's just going to be a guide to have a nice curve. So for my hip measurement now, quarter of that, it is, my circumference is 44, divided by 4 will give me 11. So 11 plus 1 inch for size seam allowance, that will be 12. So that is here. So while connecting, I'll just come up by 2 inches or 1.5. So this is 1.5. So it will be a guide. So by the time I'm curving it out, I'm just going to cut it this way. So now, having done that, then for my waist measurement now, it is 9 inches. That is quarter of my circumference, which is 36, divided by 4. That will give me 9. But because I need his, I want it to be free because it's a free top, though it has button. So I'm going to add extra 1 to 1.5 to it. So since it's 9, when I add 1.5 to it, it's going to be 10.5. So all after the 1/2 inch. So that is that. So I'm just going to note that. Right now we are as good as done. So all I have to do now is to just curve it from this end of the fabric straight down. So what I'll just do is this. From this point, we are going to curve it down, but make sure you do not just mark it straight. Just come in by some inches, maybe like 2 to 3 inches here from the edge. So this is 3 inches or 2.5. So it depends on your choice. So I'm just going to take my chalk this way. Can you see that? And all that. So when I'm coming down here, remember we came up by 1.5. Then I'm just going to curve towards that, because you don't want it to just come straight down to this point. I just curve it out. Just keep it visible. Can you see that? So we are done. So that is the cape shape. You can see that was pretty easy. So now coming to this point, because we want you to be able to move your arm, and this part is not really coming up showing part of your body. So we are going to create an opening here, and that is where the belt is going to go through also. So what I'm just going to do now is this. Just come down by 2 inches from the waistline now, 2 inches. Then you just make a slight curve. So with my pattern master, I'm just going to make a slight curve. Let me see that. So that will be going off. So that will be where the belt is going to be. The next thing is to cut it out. This is going to be a pattern for the back. Then the back neckline first. What I'll do now to make this easier for me, I'm just going to turn it. Now this is what the top looks like. Can you see that? Now I'm supposed to just cut this open, but I'm going to leave it now because I don't want everything in disarray while I cut the back. So I'm going to fold the same way I folded for this to cut out the back panel. I've placed the front panel on the folded fabric again, but remember for the front we have 1/2 inch for the button placket. So what I will do now is to fold it more than that of the back. Can you see 1/2 inch? Can you see that? So the folded part matches up because the back doesn't have any placket. So then I can cut. Now I've cut out for the back, then I can remove that of the front. Then this is the back. Now this is what it looks like. So this is where the belt is going to go in through. You see that? So that's what it looks like. So let us just finish up on the front. I'll just finish up the neckline. That's for the front, then slit this part open. So what we have to cut out now is the plackets, the button plackets, and then the belt. Now this is the front. So one part of the front. So then it's going to overlap. So that is all on that. Now the belt now. First let's talk about the belt. So what I just did was to cut the length of the width and then cut out two. So here I have, that's 46 inches. This is 46 inches by 5 inches. Here I have 5 inches. Then I folded it. Can you see that? So 46 by 5. So when I fold it over, I'll have 2.5. So I'll be taking in 1/2 inch on both sides to sew up the belt. So at the end of the day, I'll be having 2 inches left for my belt. Then I made use of the lightest interfacing just to give it some stability, popularly called paper stay. So I had to cut out 2 of the belts to have a very long belt. Can you see that? So the first thing I'm going to do now is to join it this way. Can you see that? So by 1/2 inch, then I'll have a very long belt. So going over to the button placket now, I'm making use of this fabric which is matching with the African print fabric. So what I did is to cut out a length of 28, though I won't need up to that, 28 inches by 3 inches. Why did I cut out 3 inches? That is it. Can you see that 3 inches? Because we want to have a placket of 1 inch. We left 1/2 inch on the main fabric, which we will use to attach this to it. I'm going to attach it by 1/2 inch. After doing that, then you can see I folded another 1/2 inch, so I'm left with 2 inches now. So after joining this to it, then I fold over, I'll be left with 1 inch placket all through. Here too, I made use of the lightest interfacing to give it some support and stability. So I have 2 of these cut out. So now I have one long strip. This was cut on bias, so has to be stretchy. So I just cut out long one. That will be for the neckline, or better still, I could make use of these for the neckline. So now let's start sewing it up. I have my front panel here now. This is it. So on this very one, we have our 1/2 inch marked out. So what you do to mark 1/2 inch here, then take your strip. I folded in 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here. So what I'll just do now is this. Make sure this is on the right side now, although this is on the wrong side. So what I'll do now is this. Let me use this to explain. This is the 1/2 inch. Let's assume this is the right side now. So all I have to do now is to place it this way. Can you see that the 1/2 inch for this have been folded? I'm then going to sew in 1/2 inch all through. Can you see that? So once I've sewn the 1/2 inch, I'm going to press all the seam allowance towards the placket. I'm going to press it this way, then fold this over. After doing that, I'm now going to fold it over the 1/2 inch line. Can you see what I have? Can you see that? All through. So having done that, I'm now going to sew very close to the end of the placket. I'm just going to sew it very close, like 1/16 of an inch or down. So this same process, you do it to this panel too. I fix the placket. You can see how beautiful it looks. So what I just did was to finish it till the end. That's because I'm going to use a bias strip to pipe the lower part. So that was why I did that. So you can see now it overlaps each other by 1 inch, and every other thing is still intact. So the next stage now is for me to just sew up the shoulder area by 1/2 inch. Just sew it up a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, all down, all down. After joining that, the next thing is to hem this sleeve opening. I'm just going to hem it by 1/2 inch all through, and this side. After doing that, still on the wrong side, I'm going to sew in from here straight down here. Make sure this part is a sharp V, so that we can just notch this place to relax on the right side. So just sew it all down, make sure it is sharp. Then I'm going to sew this part also sharp. Then I'm going to use a bias strip. This is my bias strip here, and then use it to pipe the lower part. So all I have to do is to fold it in this way. Can you see that? So I still have little showing. Then I'll just finish up this edge. When you get to this edge, fold in the bias strip before closing it up, so it gives it a good finishing. So that's all I'm going to do. Then this bias strip, I cut this out with this very fabric. I'm just going to use it to finish the neckline. I already have my belt fixed. You can see the belts, everything is fixed and ironed. So that is all on that. So now let me just sew the shoulder, the sides, and then hem the lower part and show you the final look. The blouse, you can see how beautiful it looks. Everything has been fixed. You can see the plackets all ironed. So all I have to do is to put the buttonhole and the button. So the buttonhole will be on this side, while the buttons will be here, because everything should face towards the left. So now the belt is here. So I'm just going to quickly put it on for you to see what it looks like. It's so beautiful. You can see it's so nice and beautiful. So make sure you make yours and share with us on our Facebook group, Sewing Innovation. Tag me on Instagram, Blouse Signatures. You can see it's so nice, and with my beautiful hair here. Do you like it? So I need to go for now. Make sure you try it out. Please subscribe, share the link with your friends and family. Bye.